Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this napkin fold card. What happens is you just pull that back, this one pops out, and inside there's a greeting card. Okay, to pop this away first, let me slide those two in, pull the corner out and slide that one down, pull the corner out, pop that one down. Okay, it was totally inspired by a swap I received on stage last November from Wendy Porter, and I just thought it was absolutely fabulous. And with Wendy's, what you do, pull the corner back, this is the piece that comes out, and that's her card. Okay, so there's plenty of options of what you can do with this. This has been on my desk since November because I knew that I would be doing it one day. So many thanks for that, Wendy. I will put a link to her blog in the box below, and it's www.sent-i-ment.com, and if you take the two dashes out, it says sentiment, which I thought was rather good. So I'm going to start off by giving you the card pieces that you need. You need a piece of designer series paper which measures 8 inches by 8 inches. This one's from Petal Promenade, which is 20 by 20 centimetres. You need a piece of powder pink. I know it says that it should have petal pink, but I think that goes nicely with that. So powder pink, 3 7/8 inches by 3 7/8 inches, which is 9.5 by 9.5 centimetres. A piece of Whisper White, which measures 3 7/8 inches by 7 3/4 inches, which is scored and folded at 3 7/8 inches, which is 9.5 by 19 centimetres, scored and folded at 9.5 centimetres. And then another piece of powder pink, which measures 5/8 of an inch by 2 5/8 inches, which is 1.5 by 6.6 centimetres. I am changing this decoration here. I'm also going to, the soft suede there, on here, the powder pink, I'm going to be dry embossing that, so I might not be using the doily, but I'll decide that when I get there. But the other pieces that you're going to be needing are all of scraps, Pear Pizzazz, powder pink and Whisper White. So to start off with, I am going to show you the scoring we need to be done. You can make this as origami if you like, but I thought I would just show you how to do it by scoring your lines. Just trying to make sure I got this so that you can see top to bottom. Yep. Right, okay, so you are going to start off by, if you're using your you can use your trimmer if you prefer that. So we need to score at 2 inches, and don't press very hard because it is paper and you can go straight through it. Now you need to score at 2 inches on all 4 sides, and 2 inches is 5 centimetres. Okay, so you've got 4 lines. Yep. And then what you need to do is mark at 2 inches with a pencil, 4 inches, 6 inches, and you need to do that on all 4 sides. We are going to be erasing these pencil marks, so it's best not to do it too heavy. Not that I think it will be visible once the card has been put together. Well, there we go. Right, so to do our scoring, we need to score a line from that 4-inch mark to that 4-inch mark, and then that 4-inch mark down to that 4-inch mark all the way round. Okay, so line the pencil mark up with this one and this one. Each time you move one come back and check the other one, just in case you've moved that one. And also when you do your scoring, don't come straight onto your designer series paper this way, because it might tear. It's much easier to do a little score first and then go off, and then you can come the rest of the way down. Okay, so do all 4 of those. Okay, be careful as you do the edge one there. Right, that should be fine. Oh, that's good. So I've got the 4. Now we need to do that 2-inch down to that 2-inch. I've got to do that on all 4 sides. When you're scoring on designer series paper like this, it's probably a good idea to use a light design like I'm using here, because you're not scoring very hard, and sometimes you need to actually look for your score lines so that you can fold. Keep going until you've done all 4. I've done 3. This is my 4th one. There we go. Yeah, that's it. Yep, so you should have 2 diagonal on each corner, and then you should have 2 across and then 2 down straight ones. If you've got that, then that's good to go. Now, with the straight lines, have the side that you want on the outside, which is this one here. It's not really outside, it's inside, that's the outside. But this is the one that I call the outside because it's the one that's exposed. Alright, so I want this exposed, have that towards you, and then fold on the 4 straight lines. I don't recommend that you use a bone folder for this. Oh, I've got to erase those pencil marks as well. I don't recommend the bone folder because it is designer series paper and it will crack. But we will need a bone folder right towards the end of folding. So if we keep the bone folding to an absolute minimum, it will be fine. Let's just take the pencil marks off. Oops. Right, okay, that looks good. So we've done those. Now turn the designer series paper over and fold on both of the diagonal lines. Again, your finger will be enough to fold these over. when you fold that one over, just make sure it does actually come up into in between those score lines there. That one I thought was coming over a bit far. Let's just tuck that back a bit. Oh, go back. Now that was being a little bit wayward, so I've used my band folder. There we go. See, it should fold over just like that. So that's that. I haven't done the big ones, have I? This is what I mean when I say if you've got a plain design, you need to look for your score lines. It's so much easier. Right. So which way have I got to do this? You won't believe how many of these I've done. Alright, okay, here we go. Right, now this should want to fold by itself. Okay, so your folds should all be mountains and your straight lines should be valleys. If it does that, then hold those two down and then it should come in like that. Okay, and that's going to be coming down once that one comes round. Okay, so you've got that one and this one. And that's it. And that one. Okay, and you should find that you've got a little bit of a gap between all of these. Right, now first of all just press that down with your finger. I think that must be that wayward one, isn't it? No, I've only got a little gap there, so that's got to be alright. Right, okay, I'm going to work with that. Now what I do is with it upside down, all your creases, make sure it's all folded in correctly, and then I give one good crease across there. Okay, so there we go. That's our napkin fold card. Alright, now what I did for the decoration, I've already made them. Oh no, I've lost one. There should have been. Oh well, not. Oh, there it is, I think. Okay, so I've made these. I'm going to show you how I did these. I'm going to put one of those on each corner there. That I need to emboss, and for this I need to do some stamping. So let's do the stamping first, and then I will do all the what I need for the big shot. So there's that and that. That I need for stamping. Let me see what else I've got here. I think probably that one I need. Oh, it's this piece here, isn't it? As long as it, yep, best wishes will go on there. Okay, now stamp set I'm using is called Petal Palette, and if you've been following me for the past year, you know this has probably been my most used stamp set. Now I am going to be using this one and Best Wishes, and on this one what I used, that is that one there, and the bird is from there. Okay, but as I say, I'm just doing that one, and oh no, it's this one that I'm doing, not Best Wishes, this one. I must have used that Best Wishes for another project, because I can see one sitting over there. Right, so yes, that will be big enough for that anyway. Right, so I need that stamp and that stamp. Let's move that out of the way for the time being. And I'm going to be using Stays On. I do prefer to use my blends for this stamp set. It's so much quicker, so much easier. But there isn't a powder pink, and there isn't an alternative that is close enough. Okay, so that's that. Again, I have already stamped this, painted it and everything, but I want to show you how I do it. And this one needs to be die cut. So if I just do that in the centre, that's good. Now I always colour that little bit, so I'm going to colour this in Pear Pizzazz. It just gets a little bit of colour on there. So that needs to be die cut. Right, so I will just do these leaves and that flower there. And it isn't quite as easy to get shadows in here. Shadows isn't the word I'm looking for, is it? But you can do it. It's just that it's so much easier using blends. Okay, so what I do is I go over all of it first, and then I go over the bits that I want to do some shadowing, which is on the outside here. And then let's go over that again. And just a little bit of a quick splash. Again, with the blends, what you do is you go over with the light first of all, and then you do the dark, then you go back over with the light again, and just to blend the two together. It works brilliantly. Right, so I've got two of those, and just do a little bit of splashing on it so that there's no real hard line separating where I've done one layer or where I've done the 2 or 3 layers. Go over that again. And just quickly in the centre there. Okay, so that's how I do the leaves and the rose. As you know, I'm not much of a colourer at all. But I get away with it. Right, okay, so that's the first layer. And now to get a bit of shadow in there. Shading, that's the word I'm looking for. I just go round either the top or the bottom of the petals, and I appear to be going round the tops of them. And just by going over the same area twice with the marker pens, it does make the colour darker. But unlike the blends, you can't actually blend them together. Okay, now that is, do a quick little, on the really light bits, just a little bit of a splash there to fill it in. So I'll bring that up close so that you can see. In fact, I'll bring up the one that I'll bring this one because you've seen me do this one. Okay, not perfect, but it works. We'll just show you the one that I've done. Okay, same colours and everything. Right, I think that's all I need, isn't it? So I'm going to bring my Big Shot up now. The dies that I'm using for the little bits that I'm using on the outsides, on these little bits here, it's those, and that's from Petals and More, which is the set that goes with the Petal Palette set. The reason I got two of these is because I got two sets of dies. Why have I got two sets of dies? I did a big class somewhere and I thought it would be useful if I had two sets of the stamps and also the dies, and as it turned out it was a good idea. Right, I'm going to use, for the sentiment, I'm using number 2 on the stitched shape framelits. That's on the circle one. I did use number 3, I think, when I did this one, because I had the doily under it. But I'm going to stick with that, I think. I'll keep that handy in case I change my mind. And then for the, that was that. I don't need this now, do I? Got that. Oh, I know what I've forgotten. Just bring this one back. I need this for my flowers. Yep, that looks good. And I need that one for embossing. Right. Let's just move those out of the way. That, and I'll bring my Big Shot up. Now, first of all, I'm going to do the dry embossing. And I think this is, oh yeah, this is the embossing folder, Petal Burst. Oh, I wasn't far wrong, was I? Okay, so that's this one. And I need this. But I need the platform, just the platform on its own, which is this, the Big Shot platform. Okay, without the thin die adapter. And one cutting mat. Now this is a regular embossing folder, so this doesn't need to be sprayed, but you will notice that on mine I have a piece of vellum in there, and quite often I find that with my machine, when I do this dry embossing, it splits my cardstock. And by putting the thick, it's our vellum, which is like a cardstock, I put a piece of that in there. It stays in there always, and it stops my paper from getting damaged. Right. There we go. Okay, no damage to that whatsoever. It's beautiful. So if you find you're having trouble with your embossing folders, that's what you need to do. Right, so let's change back to my magnetic platform. And this one. Make sure that's on there properly first. Yes, that looks good. And then pop that one there. Just make sure that's in the centre. And I'll come back and do the flowers afterwards. So just crank these through. So that's that one. And that's my flowers. Now for these, you need to do 4 of these, in fact 5 of them, if you want to put one inside your card as well, which is what I did with that. I forgot to show you, didn't I? But I'll show you with this one. Now with this, I find I need to crank it through and then back again to make sure that it's cut beautifully. Okay. Yep, that's lovely. And I think that's it for this, isn't it? No, there was something else. I knew there was. I needed one of these. I knew it was there for a reason. I need one of these for the front of my card. Now, I don't think I can actually die cut that. I can't cheat, can I? Because I used the smallest one of this. But I think that is too short on there. Let's have a look. Oh, I might be able to get away with it. Let's try. The die that I've used for it, this die, actually comes with the set. Right, let me just try this first. Concentrate. Okay, so that set of dies is the rectangle stitched dies, and this is the smallest of what I call these slim dies. Ooh, have I got away with that? Yeah, look at that. Oh, crikey. Oh, I've lost a bit of a corner there. Yeah, just a bit there. Well, I'm not going to spend any time sorting that out. What I will do is, once I've finished the video, I will make a proper one of these and just adhere the new one on top of that. In fact, I know what I could do. I could just adhere that on with temporary adhesive, couldn't I? And then after the video I could just put it off and oh, that's what I'm going to do, yes. Right, what do I need? Let's do my card first and use my silicone mat and Tombow, and I am going to do this first. And use these. No, which way round did I do it? Like that, I think, didn't I? Right, now this, this isn't a Stampin' Up product, but it's just a removable, in fact I've lost another one there now. You see that? Yes, you can see that, but I'll correct that afterwards. The day that I publish this video, you'll be able to go to my blog and see the photographs. So you can check up on me, make sure that I did actually do this. Let's move that over a bit. There we go. So, don't need that one, let's use this one to put this on properly. Keep that straight. Right, I need the flower for the inside, so what I do with these two, okay, so all the bits come out quite easily, and I'll sort that out later. You don't want to see me do it. There we go, that's fine. So all I did was I used my paper snips and I cut both ends of the leaves off. Try and make it so that as you're cutting, you glide rather than getting any pointy bits like I've just done. It's a lot easier to do it as you're working rather than having to go back. So you need to put some Tombow on here. Come on. I'm not very happy about working today, is it? Right, that has gone thick in places, so I'll just blot it on my piece of scrap paper. And then I'm going to put it on here. It is normally quite easy to see where it goes. Because this petal and this petal have both got like little bumpy bits on the inside there. Okay, so there's that. Now I have made mine already. And this. Now this is what I wasn't sure whether I wanted to put the doily on there or not. Or do I think that's a bit too fussy? Don't know. I'll wait until I've put all the bits together, I think. So this one I'm going to put inside my card. Let's bring back my silicone mat because I haven't finished with that. Right. And that definitely came out too quick in several places. So again, I'm going to block that. And that can go inside my card. You can see some glue on the outside there. Okay, so that's the card. Let's bring back this one. Now I'm going to pop these, one on each corner. Oops, come back. Right, let's hope Tombow slows down a bit. I'm not really showing much sign of it, is it? Let's bring this over. When you cut your paper, I can't stress how important it is that you must make sure that it really is 8 by 8. Okay, slightly out and it won't work properly. No prizes for guessing how I know that. Oh, looks as if it cut a bit short there. Can you see that bit pink there? Crikey, that was lucky. Lucky that I covered it up. There we go, I think that should be the last one. Right, so the card, just make sure that's not going to get stuck in there. So that will fit in there. And this will fit in there. I'm putting it together so I can decide whether I want my doily or not. And the reason why I decided to emboss this sheet is because embossing helps break up fibres. I thought it would be easier to get it in and out. Okay, so now that's like that. Do I want the doily there? It goes around that way, and that would go like that. Or do I want it without the doily? I think that looks a bit plain now, don't you? Oh, definitely with the doily. Right, okay. Right, I'm going to leave that in there. You can tell whether it's in the centre or not by the amount of gap you get here. To fit that in, to fit something in there perfectly, you would need 4 inches by 4 inches. But I did 3 7/8 by 3 7/8 because I wanted a bit of space. Right, so I'm going to leave the embossed piece in situ even, so that I can make sure this is in the centre. I'm afraid Tombow is being very generous with the glue today. So let's blot that. Okay. Now it should be easy to see, to get that in the centre. Then I'm going to put this straight on as well. Keep that straight. Now it does just about cover up those bobbly bits, but that's alright, I'm quite happy. Now I do use some mini dimensionals just to pop that under there and to hold that down. You could put a big dimensional in there, you could put a couple in if you're not happy. But I'm quite happy with still having a bit of movement there. Okay, so that's that. Now I need to add some, do I want pearls or diamonds? I think I'll go for rhinestones. There we go. So first of all I want one in the centre of all the flowers. Oh yes. So what do you think about this design? I think that's very nice. I'm happy. Right, now I'm going to do 3 down here. In fact, what did I do? I think when I did this previously, I don't know whether I'd do a big one and then 2 smaller ones, or a medium and then 2 small ones. But I just like the look of the difference there. So there we go, that's today's project. I hope you like it, and I hope you give it a try. As I say, the secret really is to make sure that your sheet is 8 by 8, or whatever size you're doing. If you do, for example, 9 inches, then you would need to do 2.5 all the way round, and your centre one would need to be 4.5. If you're quite happy working with figures, it's quite easy to work out the different sizes. But there we go. Many thanks for joining me today. I'll leave that one like that. This one I will open up so you can actually see the card. Okay, so many thanks for joining me today. If you have any questions or any comments, please leave them in the box below the video. I'm always happy to help, and I do enjoy reading your feedback. If you would like to purchase any of the products that I featured here, except the temporary adhesive, there'll be a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop in the box below the video. If you'd like to be notified each time I upload a new video, which is normally twice a week, please click on the subscribe button, which is down there in the bottom right hand corner, and also click on the bell so that you get the notifications. And finally, I have a Facebook group called Happy Crafting for everybody to come and share their projects that they've made. It doesn't have to be what you've done with this one, and it doesn't have to be using Stampin' Up products either. It would just be nice to see what everybody is making. So if you'd like to come over and join me, there's a link for that in the box below as well. It'd be nice to see you over there. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.